Right. So if we listen to him clearly, he said is actually awaiting us. He still use a futuristic language. He's not saying directly that we can see it now. And we must actually say that yes, our macroeconomic indicators are showing a positive outlook. But the question is that as it transfer to micro level, can we now say household is down feeling the impact of the macroeconomic indicator? These are the questions. So there's a what we call a lead time and lag time in economies. So the problem now is lag time. All what he's saying now, as he actually translates. So at what time are we going to start seeing it on day-to-day event? Now, it is clear that even if you look at the market products, commodities that are coming down. But the question is that where is the purchasing power? The major thing is not cost of things. The major thing is the purchasing power of it. And that is the major problem. So for me, I will say that, like you rightly put it, we are still awaiting the impact of all the macroeconomic indicators that you are seeing in GDP, in inflation, in forex, in reserve. We are seeing those positive optimism. We are seeing positive outlook, but it has not translated to people's
so if you could put
and helping people disposable income.
If you could put a timeline to it, when do we expect this to translate, this macroeconomic gains, for people to feel it, ordinary Nigerians?
Right. So before I put timeline to it, I could also say that they are not yet concrete in the sense that we don't know what will happen, is the economy. We don't know what will erode those objectives until we must sustain those things. So before I put a timeline, we must be able to sustain the currency as it is now, that it will not go up again, it will be coming down. We must be able to continue to increase the foreign reserve as well. We must also to manage the inflation, especially food component of the inflation. And we must also continue to produce. So if we are at this level going forward, I think by January, February, we'll start seeing the impact on the markets. When we say, January, December also have its own dirty December things coming together. So apparently by first quarter of next year, we'll start seeing the result of all this impact. Things are actually coming down now, but the purchasing power actually not there. And that's the major problem. So if people have 1 million naira, how much can 1 million buy is the question.
So the question is, you've made reference to dirty December. Is December really going to be dirty? What will be the impact and what are the expectations for what is to be expected in December? You're saying that we are most likely to see these gains translated down to the grassroots by first quarter of next year. Will the impact of the concept of dirty December, with more FX coming into the country, more foreigners coming into the country, will that alleviate some of the difficulties that these policies have caused in the little gains that we should have expected to see here in Nigeria?
Well, the beauty of the economy is that anything that happens at the upper level is expected to translate down. So that period itself has economic booming impacts. That if you have much more diaspora remittance in Nigeria, it will help the supply side of dollar. And when the supply side of dollar make it much more available, the forex, the value of naira will begin to appreciate. So we are looking at naira being appreciated by next quarter. By first quarter of December. And by that time, people will now have more money to actually buy goods and services. Then we have some legacy problems we must also come to look at critically. Among the legacy problem is our production and also our agriculture. You recall that August 2023, President said he declared an emergency of food security. As at early this month, government said go and slash the price of commodities. These are the things we want government to do. These are what they should do and increase much more security. So by the time we keep on doing all this, it will reflect in the purchasing power of people. People can now say, okay, a bag of rice, a bag of garri, it's not that it's cheap, we can also afford it. So these are the things. And value of money is the problem now. Like we always tell the unions that don't always agitate that you want more salary. If you increase your salary and your salary does not have value, why not say that you want price of commodities to come down, rents to come down, transport to come down. If transport comes down, the rent come down, price of commodities come down. People can now have more money in their pocket to do other things. So that's what we see as an economy. That it's not about the money and it's about what the money you can actually purchase.
Now, Dr. Elias, there are those that will argue with you and say, Nigerian economics defies the law of gravity, that when things go up, sometimes they never come down. I'd like to take your perspective on that. And also, while speaking in